I love Mega Man 1. I know through that entire playthrough, it didn't sound like I did, but from the bottom of my heart, I truly love Mega Man 1. The first time I played it was back in the Wii era. I remember just browsing the Wii Shop channel endlessly and in awe of all those virtual console games. Games that I had nostalgia over from when I was even younger than that. Games like Super Mario 64, World, Super Mario Bros. 1 through 3, Star Fox 64, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country, and there were games that I dreamed of playing the moment I discovered them, like Harvest Moon, Super Mario RPG, Kirby 64. Basically, if it was on the Wii Shop channel, then I desperately wanted to play it. I've been a Mega Man fan for as long as I can remember. Seriously, I have no idea when I discovered Mega Man. I know my brother had Mega Man X on the SNES, and while I don't remember playing it, it's impossible that I didn't. I remember borrowing Mega Man Anniversary Collection from my older cousin, but I think I only played 7 because it was the first one that had a ton of color and looked better than the older ones. While I had access to the SNES, N64, and Game Boy Advanced thanks to my brother, the GameCube was the first console that belonged to me. I do specifically remember playing a ton of Mega Man X Command Mission, watching the Battle Network anime, and when I inevitably got a GBA of my own, I remember playing Battle Network 3 White. Although I hardly remember anything about that game, I just remember that I really loved it. I even had network transmission on the GameCube as well, and I couldn't get past the first stage though, because Fireman is brutal. This was all before I ever played Mega Man 1, but I went into that game with such excitement because I already loved Mega Man. Let's talk story. If you're not aware, back in the day, stories in video games were pretty limited. You might have something like The Legend of Zelda on NES, where you have a nice screen crawl telling you what the game is about. Many years ago, Prince Darkness Ganon stole one of the Triforce with power. Princess Zelda had one of the Triforce with wisdom. She divided it into 8 units to hide it from Ganon before she was captured. Go find the 8 units, Link, to save her. Hey, that was nice and simple. Let's check out Dragon Quest next. As soon as you start the game, you stand in front of the King of Tantagel, or Tantagel, according to Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. Anyways. Descendant of Erdrick, listen now to my words. It is told that in ages past, Erdrick fought demons with a ball of light. Then came the Dragon Lord, who stole the precious globe and hid it in the darkness. Now, Javier, thou must help us recover the ball of light and restore peace to our land. The Dragon Lord must be defeated. Take now whatever thou may find in these treasure chests to aid thee in thy quest. Then speak with the guards, for they have much knowledge that may aid thee. May the light shine upon thee, Javier. And just like that, we start our journey to defeat the Dragon Lord. If you speak to the guards, they tell you about Princess Gwaelin, who needs saving, and a town to the east where you can find equipment for sale. In the same room, you're already given more context and objectives to do in the game, and that's pretty much how it is throughout the entirety of it. Moving on to Kirby's Dream Land, you're thrown into the game with absolutely no information. You have an extremely vague idea of what the adventure was about with the very last cutscene though. Alright, final level is called Mount Dedede. Final boss is presumably Dedede himself. After beating him, Kirby turns into a blimp and floats away with the castle while food falls out of it, carrying it all the way to another land where the inhabitants are cheering for Kirby while food continues to fall all around them. Okay, I think I get it. So Dedede must have stolen all the food and the whole game was traveling to his castle to get it back. Alright, didn't really find out until the very end, but hey, it's something. And finally, there's Mega Man, where it tells you absolutely nothing at the start, absolutely nothing throughout your entire adventure, and any bit of text at the end of the game is so wildly generic that it tells you absolutely nothing. Not that a game needs a story or anything, but fortunately we're not entirely out of luck. Back in the day, the manuals that came inside the box told you the story of the game, so let's go ahead and summarize. Dr. Wright, with his assistant, Dr. Wily, created their first human-like robot, Mega Man, to assist with everyday tasks. It was such a success that they proceeded to create 6 more humanoid robots programmed to perform heavy-duty specific tasks in industries like construction, lumber, energy, and more. These additional robots were reprogrammed by Dr. Wily to follow him in controlling the world. Each Each of these robots hold their own empires within Monsteropolis, a land of robot-like humanoids. Mega Man, able to resist the reprogramming, is now chosen as the defender of the universe, and is now tasked to take down the other robots and their empires, as well as Mastermind Dr. Wily. Hell yeah, that's pretty cool! Except, it's not entirely true. Yeah, whoever was in charge of making the localized US manual decided that's what the story should be. Capcom and Mega Man are of Japanese origin, so let's see what the creators put in their manual. Here's a nice accurately translated version I was able to find. In the year 2000X, scientific advances led people to create humanoid robots for industrial use. One day, Dr. Wright, the leading expert on these industrial robots, received the following information. The robots developed by Dr. Wright are going rogue one after another. If this continues, the robots will take over the humans. Could it be that robots are taking over humanity? It must be the work of the evil genius Wily. He has modified the robots developed by Dr. Wright and plans to use them to take over the world. Dr. Wright called for his household robot Rock, whom he has always loved as his own son. He then sent him out to retrieve the hearts of each of the 6 robots that Wright had made by his own hands, and converted Rock into a fighting robot named Rockman. Go, Rockman! Make sure the 6 robots are safely recovered, then destroy Dr. Wily's robot factory and restore peace. Okay, not nearly as colorful as the US version, but it's not bad. For the most part, they're pretty similar. Monsteropolis, though, not a thing. Doesn't exist. Mega Man's real name being Rock is never referenced. It seems that the name Dr. Light is a later change, since he's being referred to as Dr. Wright here. As far as I can tell, Dr. Wily was never Dr. Light's assistant. They were rival colleagues going as far back as their college days, which led to Wily turning villain, which was shown at the start of Mega Man 11. I mean, the classic series has been going on for so long, and I'm sure has been retconned over and over again. It's just pretty interesting the insane changes localizers can take. For the most part, I'm not a particular fan of localizations not being as accurate as possible, but there are times when some good can come out of it. Dragon Quest in particular being an excellent example of changes that enhance the experience. One specific example is that accents are represented in both text and voice acting, something that isn't the case in Japanese. As far as I can tell, the Japanese only really covered Japanese-specific accents, and that's it. In the localized version, you're going global in-game and with their real-world counterpart accents. Sometimes it can be difficult to read, but I find it really fun. Alright, back to Mega Man. Now, I have no idea how I beat it as a kid, because the game is BS levels of difficult, and there are absolutely no rewind or save states on Wii Virtual Console. But I did it, and thanks to those features being in later releases, I refuse to play without them. For people who have hang-ups about those features or what difficulty other people play on, I'm sorry. You're either young and you'll grow out of it, or you're old and pride yourself on something kind of silly. But to each their own. I don't care how you play your video games, the point is that you have fun doing it how you want. I love experiencing as many games as possible. I want to know what happens in the story, I want to hear the music, I want to play every title in any given series. I want that experience, but there are a metric ton of NES, SNES, and other consoles of that era whose games were developed with that old school arcade mentality. Although instead of wanting your quarters, they wanted your time. Mega Man is technically about an hour long, but if you played it normally, then there's a very real possibility that you might never beat it no matter how much time you put in, because the game is that difficult. Developers back in the day made games straight up unfair to give the illusion that a game is long and therefore make it feel like you got your money's worth. Legacy Collection has both save states and rewind, and I say use it and abuse it. Classic Mega Man features 11 main titles and like 1,000 others that fall under the classic series. Seriously, look it up. I promise you there's going to be at least 10 titles you've never heard of. And how in the world are you going to experience them if you're stuck on Mega Man 1? I mean, I guess you could play them out of order or skip titles entirely, but I will judge you at that point. This video is going on for way too long. These post-series reviews were meant to be extremely casual. You see, I'm the problem here. I have trouble reining in the passion. Okay. Let's rapid fire through the rest, if I even know what rapid fire means. Gameplay, it's jumping and shooting. Don't get any more classic than that. Music, I really love the music here. Long-running series like Mega Man fall into the problem of having a billion tracks and they all blur together. To be fair, this might be more of a problem for someone who didn't spend entire summers as a child replaying these games because it was all they had. Nowadays, the benefits of save states and the ease of access to all these titles means we can blast through a game and move on to the next one, not really getting a chance to take it all in with multiple playthroughs, or one never-ending failure of a playthrough. I've stated this in the actual video, but basically every time the series is released, I buy the games with the desire to play through them all and eventually stop early on. I've played Mega Man 1 like 5 or 6 times, Mega Man 2 maybe 3 times, and 4 through 6 just once. So I'm intimately familiar with the music from the first game. Alright, for the actual playthrough, I had trouble choosing what version to play. Long story short, I chose the Legacy Collection due to the rewind feature, but it felt like I was pouring acid into my eyes because the aspect ratio is incorrect. Something I've kind of become sensitive to. It's an extreme shame there isn't a proper square pixel mode. Apparently there is a mod that fixes it, but you need to force your monitor resolution to 1080p and presumably works best on, or at all, on a 16:9 monitor. Something that I refuse to do because I play on an ultra-wide monitor, and if you're familiar with computer jank, forcing a resolution will sometimes F up everything you have in place on your desktop or completely mess with other open windows. So instead I tried to fix it as much as I could in post. And that's pretty much it. That's Mega Man 1. It's still a fantastic game made better with Rewind. I wish they provided a proper square pixel mode, but oh well, I guess. I would love to see a proper remake in the vein of the Sonic Origins collection. Something faithful but extends the game to at least a 16:9 aspect ratio and up to ultra wide. Remove lives entirely and implement better checkpoints. Something like that would be the definitive classic Mega Man experience. Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen, but a man can dream. This might sound like heresy to some, but I gotta be honest, I enjoy classic Mega Man over the X series. Look, X is cool and all, and look, this is gonna sound weird, but I really like Robot Boys. I'm only saying that because I really love Astro Boy. I grew up watching the 2003 anime, and I had Omega Factor, which was an incredible game. One that many deemed the greatest GBA game of all time. My love for Mega Man probably has a lot to do with my love for Astro Boy, and vice versa, because I was exposed to both at the same time. Both the Astro Boy and Mega Man NT Warrior animes were running at around the same time period, and I was also playing their respective games. EXE is my favorite version of Mega Man, and both Classic and EXE aren't wildly different from Astro in terms of them all being robot boys. Look, I really love the concept of extreme power being in compact forms. Take a look at Frieza. He keeps getting bigger and bigger as his power grew, but his final form is tiny but deals devastating power. Goku also got bigger and his hair got wilder, but his Super Saiyan God form, which is my favorite form, reverted him back to his Leith standard look, and for a moment was his most powerful form, and it's one he still uses in certain situations. Look at Sonic and Shadow. They're relatively short creatures but have godlike powers. Astro, Classic, and EXE all fall under small builds with unbelievable power, and that's just about my favorite thing ever. Robot Boys, very cool. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing or becoming a member of the channel, and follow me on Twitch for more of my shenanigans. Most importantly, hit up the Discord where you can keep up with all my projects, uploads, and live streams. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching.